Hey, it's Mindy with Astrology by Love, here today to talk to you about Brittany and Abby Hensel's natal chart. We are also going to look at their synastry with their husband Josh Bowling, and also at two dates. We're going to look at the date that they got married and also the date that we got the announcement that they got married, because those were two very different dates. What was going on? So you may have heard of Brittany and Abby Hensel. They are conjoined twins. They had a reality TV show for 1 year, and they are school teachers in the great state of Minnesota. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I've got some cool links down below, a discount code for your own personal monthly horoscope, and let's go ahead, jump in, and get started. So this is Abby and Brittany Hensel. These beautiful young women were born conjoined twins on March 7th, 1990 at 11:29 a.m. in Buffalo, Minnesota, if you want to follow along with me. So this is their chart. As you can see, they've got the Sun in Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, and that's at the height of the chart in the 10th house. So whenever someone has their Sun, Mercury, personal planets like that in the 10th house, they shine a little bit more in the spotlight. It's easier for them to be known, for them to be famous. We know about the twins for a lot of reasons. They got attention being born, being conjoined, but they also got attention with their reality TV show. So being in the spotlight and being known and seen by a lot of people is indicative of the Sun and Mercury in the 10th house, and we've seen that with the twins. Now, the Sun and Mercury are also in the sign of Pisces. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune. This is a very glamorous sign. This is a sensitive, sweet. With the Sun and Mercury in the sign of Pisces, they can intuit things. They can feel the energy around them and kind of know what's going on just by sensing and feeling things. This is a very spiritual sign. This is a sign that does very well meditating, having a connection to the divine, and knowing that the spiritual world exists and that they are a beautiful part of it. Now, I remember the first time I saw the Hensel twins. I thought, oh my goodness, I bet there's a lot of Gemini in that chart. Gemini, of course, is symbolic of twins and duality. And as it turns out, the twins do have a Gemini ascendant. It is at 29 degrees, 27 minutes of Gemini. So a Gemini ascendant is normally someone who's known for being very communicative, very intelligent, very well spoken. Gemini is the natural ruler of the third house, which is our community. It's the people that we were raised around that we didn't necessarily choose, which includes siblings, cousins, neighbors. The third house is also the house of basic learning, like reading a book, elementary school. I love that the twins are school teachers. So the Hensel twins naturally play out their ascendant by being twins, but also by being school teachers. So they teach 5th grade. Communication is very important. Teaching, basic learning, those things that the third house is naturally known for, and having a Gemini ascendant, they are playing that out, of course, very well. That's how they were designed by the universe. So not only do these lovely ladies have a 29-degree Gemini ascendant that, of course, expresses in obvious ways, they also have Jupiter in their first house. So when Jupiter's in your first house, you're definitely seen as a positive, happy person. You have that glass half full mentality. You just kind of bring the energy up in the room whenever you come in. And that is something I've noticed, at least. These two, whenever you see them, they are being positive. They're smiling. They seem to be having a good time. This is really just a beautiful, beautiful placement. They also have Chiron in their first house. So whenever Chiron's in the first house, this can show some kind of hurt wounding to the head. Maybe they've lost a father figure earlier in their life. A lot of times I see this in readings as like a head wound. I had someone come in once that had a big birthmark on their forehead from Chiron in the first house. Typically there's some kind of noticeable mark or head wound in the past that has happened to them. These two lovely ladies, they each have a head on the same body. And so that is also part of their spiritual makeup. That's what their natal chart shows. And that's how we see it expressed. They also have the moon in Leo. So the moon in Leo is very charming. This is another uplifting, happy placement. It shows that their mother doted on them, thought they were special. They kind of shine being the center of attention, which we've already seen that with their sun in the 10th house. The Leo moon is very warm. It's very loyal. This is in their 2nd house, so they very much feel emotionally better when their money is taken care of. So these ladies are very proud of their finances, proud of how they handle money. Leo is a fixed sign. It is very much interested in security, stability. I imagine these ladies probably have their checkbooks balanced. That's what moon in Leo in the 2nd house would represent. Then they have the south node in the 3rd house. So they already have a lot of 3rd house action going on with their ascendant in Gemini being that natural ruler of the 3rd house. The south node is what you come into this world already good at. This was your natural giftings, your natural talents. The 3rd house, once again, that's basic learning. That's being involved in the community. The 3rd house also represents cousins, siblings. I mean, they're known as being siblings. And once again, these are elementary school teachers. This is more 3rd house energy. This is what they came into this life talented at, being sisters, talented at teaching and being a part of the community. Now, their north node is in the 9th house. So these ladies are going to be called to be a master of something in their life. This is the long game. This is degrees. This is foreign countries. This is becoming a guru. Their north node is in the sign of Aquarius. So this indicates their calling is going to be something around being involved with the world. Aquarius energy very much says everybody is special and nobody's better than everybody else. This is everybody being unique, marching to their own drum. Now, what's interesting, with the moon in Leo, that is also in the same sign as the south node. So these ladies have probably spent a good bit of time with their mothers. The moon in a chart is a representation of one's mother. So these ladies have maybe followed in their mother's footsteps, or spent a lot of time with their mother, who is protective of them, very proud of them. That's that Leo moon. Their north node, though, is in the same sign as Venus. And so they very much enjoy being unique, enjoy marching to their own drum. And in their chart, the moon and Venus are opposite each other in the same degree. So this is a very tight orb. So with the moon in Leo, they very much want to feel special. They want to be the center of attention. They want to be the superstar, the one and only. Their idea of fun, though, their idea of luxury, is being a part of the collective, of being in the vibe of the current now, what's going on. So this can sort of be a little bit of a difficult placement because emotionally speaking, they feel good when they are unique, when the spotlight is just on them. But their idea of having fun is being out there with everybody else. So when they are one of the crowd, when they are out there in that Aquarian energy, being a part of the vibe, being a part of the moment, emotionally, they're not really satisfied. They're having fun, but there's just a little bit unsettled because they do want to be the center of attention. Now, whenever they're the center of attention, yes, it emotionally feels good, but they don't really, they're not really having fun. So when they're the center of attention, there's some good there and a little bit of negative. When they're out there with everyone else, they're enjoying themselves but not really feeling special. So this is just a kind of a little internal wrinkle, just a small little frustration that they've got to deal with in this lifetime, but that is also part of their internal makeup. So we also see in the twins chart that they have Saturn and Mars together. So when Saturn and Mars are together, this is very much someone who gets energized by precision, by doing just the right thing. They don't want to go after something. They don't want to do something unless everything is planned out, everything is sorted out, everything is just right. So the 8th house is other people's money. It's your partner's finances. They very much envision their spouse being in charge of money in a very responsible and respectful way. The 8th house is also known as the house of secrets. These are the secrets you know about and keep with your partner. So Venus is also there in their 8th house. This is kind of showing there's going to be some secrets in their life around money, around pleasure, how they enjoy themselves, and rightfully so. We shouldn't show everything to everybody out there. However, these ladies have been in the spotlight in their lives for their unique features, which is why we're talking about them. But this very much shows with the sex planets, Venus and Mars, and Saturn right there in the 8th house, they have got to have their intimacy in just a certain way. This is not necessarily getting out there swinging from trees. I know this is a little intimate, but that is what that shows us in their chart. The twins also have Neptune and Uranus together in the 7th house. So the people who they naturally attract into their life are a soft sort of spiritual sort, but they also bring in a level of chaos. So these are people they attract in that they can't necessarily count on, who in the sign of Capricorn, they mean well. They may say, hey, I'm going to be there. Hey, I'm going to do this. Hey, I'm coming in to organize and take care of stuff, but then just everything goes everywhere. Neptune can also represent, someone who's dependent on drugs and alcohol. And so they may have had some people come into their life in the past who were inebriated, addicted, and that was one of the ways that they caused chaos. This could also be people coming into their lives with psychic tendencies, mediums, the ability to talk to the other side. So hopefully they are bringing in spiritual masters and people who can deliver them messages from the other side instead of kind of chaotic, crazy addicts. I also wanted to talk a little bit about Josh Bowling's chart. So Josh married the twins on November 13th of 2021. So Josh was born on March 29th, 1990, just a few weeks after the twins. So he also has a South Node in Leo and a North Node in Aquarius. So he also has Venus and Mars, the sex planets, in line with his North Node in Aquarius. So what he thinks of as beautiful and sexy, what gets him going, is basically the vibe that the twins are bringing. So he very much is attracted to them. With their moon near his South Node, there was probably some spark, some kind of click when they first met that he thought, yeah, this is very much meant to be. So anytime the nodes have contact with someone else's planets, it's very much a sort of pop of energy when you meet people. Sometimes you just meet folks and you like them. There's probably some North Node, South Node stuff going on in those moments. And Josh has that with the twins. So this is really excellent, fun energy. It's the kind of stuff that keeps you put, even during those like weird little not happy times. that north and south node action is like a magnet, and it keeps you there. And so I'm glad that they have those contacts. Now Josh has his sun and Mercury in the sign of Aries. So Aries is very much a dynamic energy. It is impulsive. It goes after what it wants. A lot of times it'll get it, and then as soon as it gets it, it loses interest because it's on to the next thing. Now, Josh, however, his sun and Mercury are square Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus in his chart. This very much changes the regular Aries energy of jumping in there and going after it. With a square to all these planets, this would cause Josh to be a little bit anxious, a little bit sensitive, and with Saturn there, he may be impulsive and want to go do something, but then he's held back. He's held back because he's not sure if he's prepared enough, if he's done the right thing, if this is really a good thing. And so both Josh and the twins have this cautious energy in their soul. So they're both a little bit of a nervous Nelly. So that's going to kind of keep things safe, keep things a little bit at an even keel for them. So, these are characteristics that, when both people in the marriage have it, it's a good match. Now, Josh's moon is in the sign of Taurus, so that is a fixed sign, and it is at a 90-degree angle to the twins' moon and their Venus. So this is very much whenever the twins are feeling special, Josh is kind of frustrated by it, and whenever they're feeling beautiful and getting their way, he's kind of like, what about me? And Josh carries, he's got his own frustrations with the moon and Venus. So with the moon in the sign of Taurus, he very much likes luxury, beauty. This is very much a placement of someone who's a foodie, and yet it's square Venus and Mars. So he very much is turned on and goes after that collective vibe, like what's going on in the universe at that time. And whenever he's getting what he wants, it kind of frustrates his emotions. He's like, yeah, but I wanted this high-end, this luxury, all this food. Oh, but I'm going along with everybody else, and that's fun. So Josh has his own little internal sort of wrinkle, and we all do. Everybody's chart has some things that slightly conflict, don't always go together, and the twins and Josh are no different. These are just things that they struggle with. With all these planets and placements and fixed signs, though, this is a couple that is very much likely, even if they get to a point where they don't even like each other, they'll stay put just because they like staying put. They like things the same. So fixed signs like Josh's moon and the twins' moon and Venus and Mars, they will very much stay in the same situation for as long as they possibly can, because staying put and doing the same thing is a deep internal need for their soul. So now let's look at Brittany and Abby and Josh's charts together. So we can see that there are a lot of similar placements. They were born only 3 weeks apart, and so the planets didn't have that much time to move. However, of course, the moon makes a 28-day cycle, so it has moved the most. Mars has also switched signs during this time. The Sun and Mercury have also changed signs during this 3 weeks between when the twins were born and when Josh was born. Also, I want you to notice that the girl's moon in the sign of Leo has a complementary relationship to Josh's Sun and Mercury. They are in a happy relationship by sign. It's called trine. So who Josh is as a man, the way he speaks, the way he thinks, does settle the girl's emotions. Then when we see Josh get into his emotions, that Taurus moon is activated, it then has a trine to all those planets in Capricorn. And so there very much is an emotional outlet, an emotional release. So when we see something like a T-square, a lot of times we're also looking for those planets that can come in and we can understand them from a different way. And so the twins and Josh definitely have that. So that's just beautiful to see. There's a way around that emotional frustration. And so whenever you're looking at your chart or someone else's chart, if you see a hard angle, like a 90-degree angle or a T-square, look and see the connections to the planets off of it, because that's where you're needing to lean into. So the girls just very much emotionally get Josh who he is as a man. And Josh very much feels emotionally supported when the girls start getting all detailed and need things just right and just organized. I mean, that settles Josh's soul. So they very much feed off of each other, and there are some definite beautiful connections in this relationship. So the twins got married on November 13th, 2021 to Josh Bowling. So as you can see, when they were getting married, Pluto was transiting both of their Saturns. So I don't know when they got engaged. I would imagine that it was around the time that Pluto was transiting about that 22-degree mark in Capricorn. They got married right as Pluto was coming up on Josh's natal Saturn in Capricorn. So Saturn is, how we structure our lives. It's our standards. It's how we expect things to be. And Pluto likes to rearrange things. Pluto likes to test things to make sure they are just right. They are just perfect. And so for Pluto to come in and cause things to change up in the structures of their life is very much expected energy. I also wanted to point out that both the twins and Josh have Pluto in the sign of Scorpio as well as Juno. So Juno represents in the chart what we see as marriage material. It's kind of like our ideal spouse. And so this is also in a fixed sign. It's near Pluto. They're both carrying these signatures. And they got married during Scorpio season, which I love. So one of the ways their souls honored this energy was getting married during Scorpio season. Pluto is the planet of going deep. It's the planet of transformation. In its home sign of Scorpio, this is raw, transformative energy. And with the sun there triggering that, this is very much a wonderful time for them to get married. I was so happy to see Mars and Mercury were also there. So this marriage was a transformative marriage, as all marriages are. Anytime you have a wedding, lives are getting changed. No one is the same after that. And so I love that Pluto was transiting their natal Saturns. We see it transforming the structures of their lives, and they also got married during Scorpio season, which is where their natal Plutos were. So I thought that was really cool. Then we scoot forward a few years. So the earliest announcement I could find of their wedding was on March 27th of 2024. And I was a little bit amused with that timing as well. So Pluto moved into Aquarius, I believe it was the last week of January 2024. And so Pluto started testing and kind of messing with Venus and Mars in their chart. So that kind of underlying tension we saw in the T-square with their moons and that friction was Pluto's bringing it to the surface. I can only imagine the kind of arguments that have kind of been going on there in order for an announcement to come out of the blue 3 years later. Hey, guess what? And so Pluto's going to be there for the next 19 years. And so by the time Pluto leaves, they are going to have, their sex lives transformed. Like what they see as beautiful, what they see as fun, what gets them going. All that's going to be turned around. They're going to have some emotional tests as well, because all those planets are in the fixed sign, and Pluto is going through Aquarius, just kind of testing stuff, wanting things to be best. So we may see some more all of a sudden announcements and newsworthy moments out of the girls and Josh here in the future as Pluto goes through Aquarius, and it kind of triggers stuff. And like I said, that just sort of emotional rolling, just below the surface in their relationship is bound to burst out a time or two. They'll still understand each other. They'll still have good moments, and things will get smoothed over afterwards, and they'll be okay. So anyways, that is Abby and Brittany Hensel and Josh Bowling's chart and a little bit about their marriage behind the scenes. I appreciate you hanging out with me today. Like and subscribe and check out those links below, and I will see you soon.